Hello everyone and welcome to Clarity 16.1.0 Supportability and Feature Training. I am Vib Mehrotra, and in this section we'll be talking about the dashboarding capability enhancements. As part of this release, the following things are new. We are introducing the canvas in investment objects. We will have the ability to configure the canvas with widgets and object-specific attributes, and the configured canvas views are shared between objects using the same blueprint. In the previous releases, we had introduced a similar dashboard capability in Pages, where customer could create canvas and then drag and drop widgets in that canvas, which would pull data across multiple investment types. Customers have asked us to introduce something similar within an investment, which will allow them the capability to have a dashboard for that specific investment, such as a project, to be able to see the multiple data points for that specific investments within a single page. In this release, we will have that capability available. So canvases in investments, it's new in this release. Canvas in investment functions similar to canvases in Pages, with the exception that in this case it will only display the data that is specific to that investment. The following objects will support canvases, which is projects, ideas, custom investment types, and this is in addition to what is available in Pages. To have canvas available, this is done via a blueprint, and that is to go into the blueprint modules and then add a new canvas. Adding the new canvas, you can define a name for that canvas, and you can define which specific widgets should be enabled for that canvas. You can have multiple canvases within the blueprint, and each canvas can have its own name. Each canvas can have its own set of widgets. So within a blueprint, you can define multiple canvas, and you can define which specific widget should be available to that canvas. Different canvases can have different widgets, or you can have all the widgets enabled. Widgets that are available within a canvas are determined by which object widgets are enabled in that system. Widget order is defined by dragging the individual widget up and down in the canvas configuration. And the following widgets are supported: task for projects and CIT only, risk, issue, changes, to-dos, custom objects, second level only, and finally the object specific attributes. So all of these can be dragged and dropped within the canvas when configuring a canvas. To configure the canvas, essentially once there is a canvas created in a blueprint, that canvas is going to be blank for the first time till somebody goes and configures that canvas. Configuring the canvas is the same capability that exists in Page, which is you would go into that canvas page, you would click on the configure button, and then drag and drop the widgets that you want to include in that canvas page. You can drag the table widgets for the sub-objects, which is the task, risk, issue, changes, custom sub-object, as well as to-dos, or you can drag and drop the object-specific attribute widgets that will then display a specific data point for that investment itself. If you include the same table widgets multiple times, then there will be a counter that will display how many times that specific widget has been included in that specific canvas. The object specific attributes can also be added to this canvas, but only one time. And configured canvas views are shared between the objects using the same blueprint. Configured individual widgets. The widgets in the canvas can be configured similar to how they're done in Pages, which is by clicking on the configure button for that widget, which will then open up the pop-up modal where you can rename that table widget. You can then define the layout of that table widget, as well as define any filter condition for that table widget. Once that table widget is configured, the changes can be saved as part of the canvas saved view. With that, let's see the product in action. So I'm here in Clarity 16.1.0, and for this specific functionality, I'm going to start off by going into the blueprint area in the Modern UX. So I'm going to go in to project specific blueprint, and in this case I'm going to use the project release management blueprint to get started. Let's go ahead and edit this one and go into modules. The first thing you'll notice is that now I have this new button here called New Canvas. This is what I can click on to create a new canvas. Clicking on the button adds a new tile right here called New Canvas, which is the default name, and I can call this anything I want, such as my dashboard. Underneath that, you can see I have multiple objects that are available, and by default all are enabled. This means there will be table widgets available for these specific objects that are listed here, which is the task, risk, issue changes, and if I scroll, to-dos, as well as the custom sub-objects. So strategy percent, the cross value stream, horizon percent, capacity percent, these are all custom sub-objects, and by default they're all enabled. I can even drag and drop these if I wanted to change the order. So if I wanted to move my strategy higher, I can just drag it and drop it where I would want. So now strategy is listed right below tasks. Once I'm happy with how I want this to be configured, maybe I can even change this layout to be second on this list. I can then go ahead and publish my blueprint. Next, I'm going to go into a project where this blueprint is already being used, which in this case, I have that blueprint configured for my DPM loan. And as you can see, once I go in my DPM loan application investment, in here, the second tab is my new canvas. When I click on that, because this is a brand new canvas that was created and any changes for this is not being configured, it is going to be a blank screen. So coming to a canvas for the very first time will be completely blank. At this point, I can click on configure, and I see all the widgets that I had enabled, and notice that the strategy percent is listed second because that's the order I had defined when I had configured my canvas module. If I scroll down, I can see the attributes that are available for my investment. So these are all my project and investment attributes that are available in the Modern UX. All of those same attributes are listed right here. To include any of these in my canvas, all I have to do is just drag and drop. So maybe I want to see my plan benefit. I can just drag and drop that. Maybe I want to see my plan cost. I can drag and drop that, and you can see the values automatically start appearing for my specific project. Maybe I want to see any status information. I can just drag and drop that. Now if I want to add some table widgets, all I have to do is just drag and drop it right here. I can then control how much I want to view, or I can do some risk. I can even do some of my sub-object, which is the strategy. And notice that each one of these I've included one task table widget, one risk table widget, and one strategy percent table widget. So there is 111 counter. If I include another task, I can just drag and drop, and the counter went to 2. And that's because I have 2 table widgets that I just included. Once I'm happy with my layout, maybe I'll just bring this one in. Once I'm happy with my layout, I can just go ahead and click done here, and the data is displayed. But maybe within the specific widget, I want to configure different columns, and I want to configure a certain type of um, filtered data. So I can do that by clicking on the configure button for my widget. I can rename this. Maybe I can give this another task due in 7 days. I can then define any specific attributes that I would want to see related to it, such as status. I can have that status included in here. I can see the assigned resources, and I can apply some filters such as the finish date to be today plus 7. And in this case, there are none due that is there in 7 days. But if I was to change this to next 30 days, maybe I can see some more data if there were any tasks that are due that many days. Same thing, I can configure other table widgets as I would want to. But instead of going and configuring, let me show you one that is basically pre-configured as to how the final product would look like once all the configuration is done. And for that, I'm going to go into my another project where I have enabled my project dashboard. And right here, you can see that once you've configured it all and you see the data, you can see information in a single place related to one specific project all together in the single central location. And that concludes our section. Thank you, everyone.